folks, welcome in to another edition of We Have the High Ground Shorts. Today's discussion is what 3 characters would we like to see appear in the upcoming animated series, The Bad Batch. Joining me is my Bad Batch, Soul and Boggs. Let's get right into it. Boggs, I'm going to throw it to you, bud. You got a hot topic, so I'm going to get right into it. Please, let the people know. Spill your tea, please.
First of all, it is dropping on May the 4th, of course. It was
Be
obviously a big Star Wars day, yeah. And then the next episode is dropping on May the 7th. Okay, so we're getting 2 episodes that week. So May the 7th is a Friday, so we're getting 2 episodes the first week. So a couple of people who I would like to see. Obviously, number one is Vader. You know, that's a bit of a cop-out, but yes, that is the kind of number one who you'd like to see in the Bad Batch series. The other options, though, is I would like to see Commander Cody. Because obviously in Revenge of the Sith, we see him kind of betraying Obi-Wan, where he shoots him, and you know, you think at that point they think Obi-Wan's dead, right? And because obviously you want to see how he's dealing with that. Also, his thoughts about Rex, like because I think at that point they think Rex is dead also. So because obviously him and Ahsoka were together on that separate ship. So yeah, what's going on with him? Obviously he's a leader. He's kind of a big character in the Clone Wars in general. So yeah, where's he at? What's he doing? And my last pick is basically, his inner conflict, I was trying to say. But yeah, my last pick is we may see how Grogu is saved or escapes from Order 66, because it hasn't been revealed obviously how he gets out of Order 66 and on Coruscant and the Jedi Temple. We know he was there. Who saved him? We don't know. It hasn't been told yet. Could it be the Bad Batch? We have seen obviously in the trailer footage that the Emperor, announces Order 66. They are there in Coruscant around that time. So we see in the end of Clone Wars season 7 that they are still on Coruscant. Obviously they separate from Anakin and things like that, but they are around. Who saves him? So I think we could potentially see Grogu. Obviously it is a bit of a long stretch, but that's definitely like because obviously Filoni is overseeing this whole thing, right? So it's a potential, and it's an exciting one for me, Colin.
No stone left unturned, Boggs. No stone left unturned. Soul, I know you can get deep and sweaty with this. Just drench, just twist it out. Twist out the sweat. Let us have it.
So first off, I think that Caleb Doom, which we know as Kanan Jarrus, is going to be in this show, or I would like to see him in this show, because we have not seen him like in video form, so animation or live action, on how he survived Order 66. We obviously see it in A New Dawn, which go read that book. That's by John Jackson Miller. But we see him there in season 7 of Clone Wars. I think it would be really cool to see him. It only needs to be an episode. It doesn't need to be like long form of having him in, because we see most of his story in Rebels. So I think it's just like would be a nice little Easter egg or a nice little like shout out, because I know we see Leia in Rebels, and like she's there for just like an episode or two, like that. Kind of in that frame of mind is having Kanan in there. And if you're going to have Kanan, you obviously have to have Hera Syndulla, right? We see her in the Clone Wars, and Hera is a child in the Clone Wars. And so she has precedent of being in multiple of the animated series. I would like to see her there. It could be the beginning of Kanan and Hera and how they meet. And then my last one, we got some good people. I would also like to see some people on the Imperial side, and that is Rae Sloane. Now, Rae Sloane is such a badass. Like, you love to root for her, even though she's on the bad side for most of it. And I just think bring some more people of color in it, bring this badass woman in. And with that, you could see Darth Vader, you could see Emperor Palpatine. So, yeah, bring in some Rae Sloane.
If we get Rae Sloane in some media that's not a video game, I think we'll all lose our minds. I think that she's like, oh, this character that keeps popping up in these video games. She's way more than that. But I will say, mine is also from a video game. And I'm getting deep here, folks. I want to see the Commission for the Preservation of the New Order. What is this, you might ask? This is what eventually becomes the Coalition of Progress, which is the propaganda organization that Item Versio's mother was a part of, Zihei Versio, and I want to see how they indoctrinate all these citizens who become stormtroopers because they create the brainwashing system that they all go through to just drain them of their humanity and to pledge all loyalty to the Empire. And that's the stuff that's interesting to me, is how you get people to get on with the Empire who previously were just like, life's fine here. I don't need to think that we're all bowing down to this dude. But now apparently stormtroopers need to think that way. So, well, maybe Zihei Versio, who was an artist, I think that's one of the things that was a really strong motif of Battlefront 2, was how there was a bit more to what Iden's family could have been if the Empire didn't exist. What would how great would their family have been if her mom was just an artist, but instead she was an artist for the Empire. And here's one of the pieces of art right here. Loyal, prove it. And I love it. I all that kind of stuff to me is cool. And it's all in the background. Now, every time I see, like in Solo: A Star Wars Story, you see the art, you see the ad, "Come join the Empire." That was made by the Preservation of the New Order. That's the kind of stuff that they were involved with. So if you could see, like, I would love to see maybe the transition, the first batch of non-clone stormtroopers. That would be fascinating to see as well in here, is because we do. What is the it was either in, I think it was in Rebels, where they said they shut down the clone facilities or something, where it was like that was the last batch of clones. There's some reference of it in that time period. So bring it back to that would be a pretty fun time. I like that. I like that kind of stuff where it's like, how do we get from this to that? Where it's like, obviously those
Colin coming with the deep cuts there.
Yeah, obviously those aren't clone troopers on the Death Star. So how do we get to have all those millions of people dressing up in stormtrooper outfits? We got to get to that point somehow. So who knows? We have a Bad Batch 2 where there's a bad batch of regular stormtroopers.
I just thought of a couple as you were explaining there. So,
well,
firstly, I want to know the chip situation. So, especially with the Bad Batch characters, like, did they malfunction during Order 66? Why weren't they a part of it? Why did they not follow along? That kind of thing. So, I'd love to know that. And also, Cal Kestis, as you mentioned, I just thought as you were speaking, because, Fallen Order, the game, obviously happens just, it's a little bit of time after, obviously, Order 66, but we see the events of Order 66 in the game, with his master, and his master gets killed, spoilers alert. But yeah, you see that whole story, and he's kind of the same, it's like the same age kind of thing. So like that character that we see there, it could make an easy transition into backwards into the Clone Wars. So yeah, that'll be an interesting, that'll probably just be a cameo, but it would be nice to see, a game character be transitioned into like the Filoniverse / Clone Wars. So that'll be cool.
So next time we see him, he's working on the shipyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has his lightsaber, right? And he shows his, or he doesn't have his lightsaber, he just shows his force powers, whatever. And the story starts. But folks, that'll do it for who we want to see appear in the Bad Batch. Who do you want to see appear in the Bad Batch? Leave a comment down below, like this video, and thanks for hanging out on the Pop Culture Universe YouTube channel. I'm Colin, that's Boggs, that's Soul. We'll see you next time for another We Have the High Ground Shorts. Bye-bye.